Today, we're talking about a guy who didn't just invent a machine, he basically launched the entire information age. This is the story of Johannes Gutenberg, the man who, and this is no exaggeration, printed the future.
All right, let's just stop and think about this for a second. I want you to really try and imagine a world where every single book, every document had to be copied by hand. Can you even picture it? What would that world actually feel like?
Well, for centuries, this was it. This was reality. The entire engine of human knowledge ran on the slow, painstaking labor of scribes, just like this one here. I mean, think about it. It could take months, sometimes even years, to copy a single book. And every time a new copy was made, there was a chance for a new mistake to sneak in.
So what does that all mean? Well, it means knowledge had a serious bottleneck, a huge one. Books weren't just books, they were luxury items, right? We're talking as valuable as a house or a farm. And get this, no two copies were ever exactly the same. They were all locked away, pretty much only for the ultra-wealthy and the church. So, information, yeah, it was rare, it was controlled, period.
But then, in a city called Mainz in Germany, a goldsmith, a guy with a reputation for thinking big, had this absolutely wild idea. His name was Johannes Gutenberg, and he was about to change everything.
You know, Gutenberg's real genius wasn't that he invented one single thing out of thin air. Nope. It was how he brilliantly pieced together three key innovations. So first, he used his background as a metal worker to figure out how to mass-produce individual metal letters, movable type. Then he came up with a new kind of ink, one that was oil-based so it would stick to the metal just right. And for the third piece of the puzzle, he took a screw press, the kind they used for making wine, and adapted it to press the ink onto paper perfectly, every single time.
And that first piece, the movable type, that was the absolute game changer. See, instead of carving a whole page from a block of wood, you could just arrange the letters you needed, print as many pages as you wanted, and then take it all apart and reuse the letters for the next job. It was modular, it was fast, and it was, frankly, revolutionary.
And the result of all this? It was like magic. A job that would have taken a scribe months to complete could now be done in just a few days. And maybe even more important, every single page was a perfect, identical copy of the last one. This was it. This was the birth of mass communication.
So, with this incredible new tech, Gutenberg knew he had to prove what it could do, and he went big. He chose a project that was massive in scale and hugely important culturally, the Bible.
And just look at it. This wasn't some clumsy prototype. The Gutenberg Bible was a work of art from day one. He designed the font to look just like the elegant handwriting of the best scribes. The layout is flawless, the ink is this deep, rich black, and he even left spaces for artists to come in later and add those beautiful hand-painted decorations.
And that's not just us saying that today. People at the time were absolutely blown away. There's this letter from 1455 where a church official, who would later become Pope Pius II, saw some pages in Frankfurt and just raved about how crisp and easy to read they were.
Okay, let's just try to get our heads around the sheer size of this thing. A single, complete Bible had 1,288 pages. From all those pages, his small workshop managed to print about 180 full copies in just a couple of years. I mean, a team of scribes would have needed decades to do that.
And out of those original 180, only 49 are known to still exist today. That makes every single one of them a nearly priceless artifact from the very dawn of the modern world.
So, Gutenberg's Bible proved the technology worked. But the real revolution, that was what came next, because you just couldn't keep this invention under wraps. It spread like wildfire, setting off this incredible, unstoppable wave of change all across Europe.
I love this idea. The press wasn't just a machine for culture. It was an economic powerhouse. When a printer set up shop in your town, it was a really big deal.
And we're not just guessing here. We've got the data to prove it. Check this out. Between 1500 and 1600, cities in Europe that got a printing press grew, wait for it, 60% faster than cities that didn't. I mean, that's just staggering. This technology was a catalyst for growth.
So how? How did that happen? Well, this chart here tells a huge part of the story. Look at that spike in printed manuals for merchants, books about how to do business. All of a sudden, crucial business knowledge wasn't just secret info passed from a master to his apprentice. It was being printed, sold, and shared, building the foundation for a whole new economy.
Yeah, for the first time ever, a regular merchant could buy a textbook that taught them practical skills, like commercial math, or that revolutionary new idea of double-entry bookkeeping, or how to calculate interest.
This was basically the instruction manual for early capitalism, spreading the software of a modern economy.
And from there, you can draw a straight line from the printing press to all the huge shifts of the era. It's how Renaissance ideas escaped Italy and spread everywhere. It's what gave reformers like Martin Luther the megaphone they needed to challenge the establishment. And it let scientists share their data, building on each other's work and kicking off the scientific revolution.
And really, this is the biggest takeaway. The press shattered the monopoly on information. Now, it didn't happen overnight, of course, but the process was in motion. Knowledge was finally slipping out of the exclusive grip of the powerful and into the hands of anyone who could learn to read.
Kind of sad, but the story has a bittersweet ending for Gutenberg himself. He ended up losing control of his press in a lawsuit and died pretty much unknown. He never got to see the full world-changing impact of what he'd started.
But his invention, well, it just took on a life of its own. He gave us all a new voice, a way to record, to share, and to argue about ideas on a scale that was totally unimaginable before. And that kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Here we are in our own digital age. So what's our printing press? What new futures are we printing right now?